Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the second episode of DiversiTEA. I am so glad that you are here. Thank you for joining us. And as always, I am joined today by my co-host, Evelyn Nitch Griffin.
That's me.
Evelyn, who are we joined by today?
So today we're going to be joined by our guest, Sarah Militz-Frielink. She's an assistant professor of education. Welcome to the show, Sarah.
Oh, thank you. I'm so honored to be here.
Before anything else, we always like to start the show with a good, just easy question. What tea are you drinking?
I'm drinking chamomile tea. It's very relaxing.
Evelyn, and you?
I'm also drinking chamomile, same as last time. I drink it because it's soothing to my stomach.
Angry belly, yeah.
Yeah, angry belly. So, Sarah, now that you're relaxed from the chamomile tea, would you mind telling us your landmark origin story?
Oh, sure. I found a job posting on higheredjobs.com about this job opening, and I was particularly attracted to Landmark because Landmark serves neurodivergent students, and I myself identify as neurodivergent as well. So it seemed like the perfect fit for me, and this place so far is just a beautiful paradise of acceptance, inclusion, and diversity.
Absolutely. Well done. That's a great answer. We're so glad you're here. We're so glad you joined us because you came all the way from Illinois, right?
That's right.
What was that journey like here from Illinois?
It took me 3 days and 18 hours and 2 nights at a hotel in between driving, 9 hours a day. So it was a little busy.
Do you have a favorite sandwich?
Yeah, I love it. A good tuna melt with cheese.
What kind of cheese?
I like American or cheddar.
Does your tuna melt have pickles in it?
I would love for it to have pickles.
Yeah, just the pickles thing and tuna. I mean, pickles and fish.
I put pickles.
Really?
I put pickles on tuna just today.
Really?
It's
Yeah,
delicious.
You
You
want
should
to put
try
pickles
it.
on tuna?
It's crunchy.
I was just looking at the pickles and was like, "Hey, today's the day."
I like fried pickles too.
We need to stop this. What next question do you have about pickles?
So that path of an academic, right? What's that look like for you? Like, what are you interested in?
I love writing books. I've published 4 books so far, 2 of which won the American Educational Research Association Award for the Societies of Professors in Education. And all my work is centered on human rights and social justice. I've done a study on the military and racist and sexist policies, and our research was used to change military policy at the government levels. The Pentagon recorded our research at the United States Air Force Academy when we presented it. I most recently published a book on culturally responsive teaching and how it is applicable in across all disciplines. I was an editor and co-authored 2 chapters in the book, and it's on Dr. Geneva Gay, who is the architect of culturally responsive teaching. So I'm interested in how I can promote this idea of social change with our students here at Landmark and help them to be civically engaged, which is part of the impulse of democratic theory. How can we work toward revising policies and programs in society and government and locally and make our place more equitable for all people?
Question for you on that front is that I'm really intrigued just by listening to you, everything that you're talking about, democracy, books. What sort of classes do you teach and how can students get in front of you in a classroom?
Oh, well, right now I'm working with first-year students, college learning strategies, and perspectives in learning. However, next semester, they're adding educational philosophy, which is where a lot of my expertise is in, to my class schedule. So if you want to have me next semester for the most engaging philosophical inquiry dialogue ever, sign up for educational philosophy with Dr. Militz-Frielink.
Let's say I was just a random student. I saw educational philosophy.
Yes.
What is that?
Okay. Educational philosophers, going back to the father of educational philosophy, John Dewey, have always been interested in how we can create this idea of civic engagement and how we can ask the deeper, more existential, ontological, axiological questions that help us derive our value and our meaning in life, but also how can we articulate and defend our profession for those of us who are teachers? So philosophy is a language that helps us distinguish, what works and doesn't work in our classroom, but more importantly, how we believe in the process of learning and what makes the learners in our classroom flourish.
That's an excellent answer. Thank you. That's so exciting.
Yeah, so to follow up on that,
Sure.
You're talking about, providing the situations, for our learners.
Yeah.
Here in DiversiTEA, right, we like to put a big emphasis on, the diversity of experience. Mm-hmm. When you're, teaching these classes, right, or, in your own work, what are some aspects of diversity that you always try to make sure is engaged in the conversation?
Beautiful. I like that because that points back to this field of phenomenology, which is all about creating meaning through our lived experiences. So how can we mine the lived experiences of our students, and more important, their cultural background, their heritage, honor their spiritual backgrounds, all the beauty of who they are, and use those experiences that they have to be central in our work in the classroom, making sure that our students' voices are central in the classroom as opposed to our own. So I lecture very little and mainly engage in dialogue that I hope is meaningful to our students.
The meaningful dialogue part, I think is key, because just being able to have conversation, like that's why we're doing what we're doing right here, just to be like, hey, if you just sit down and talk, you will be amazed at what you learn. You create knowledge together. And when you said phenomenology, Evelyn and I both looked at each other because like that's a word that you typically don't hear very often. It's like, yeah. What sort of things as students do you wish that they would just come talk to you about? Like, what do you invite students to come just pick your brain about? What do you want to hear? I want to know.
I'm really interested in hearing from my students and their involvement in their community. How are they engaged civically? How are they involved with activism? How can they? Just the question, like, how can I become more engaged at the civic level and create social change at, even in the smallest ways? And this idea of the impulse of democracy and social movements, like going back to the LGBTQIA plus movement, the civil rights movement, the women's rights movement, all these movements and that impulse of democracy and activism is what has created more equitable policies at all different levels, even at the global scale. So I like to see students talk to me about, like, how can they become more engaged?
I hope they do that.
Oh, thank you.
You seem like a joy to talk with. So that's really fun.
So are you guys.
That's really
Thank
fun.
you.
Would you say your office is open to our listeners?
Oh, of course. I'm in admin 213F. And sometimes if I'm not in my office, then I'm in my classroom downstairs at 016 admin.
And I think this is also a PSA that for any students who want to come talk with us or professors, please do. That's like the reason that we're here. That's the thing that excites us the most.
That is why we're here.
Probably one of the reasons that we're doing this TV show, so you all know that we exist. And you can come talk to us. Is there anything else that you would like our viewers to know or that you want to share with them before we wrap things up and get on with our commitments for the day?
Sure. I would like to encourage any student who is interested in publishing. I have connections at the Black History Bulletin, which is the oldest African American Studies journal, history journal, one of the oldest ones in the United States, and helping students get published for their first articles. In the future, when I'm doing an edited book, maybe helping a student publish a chapter. But also, more importantly, if you're interested in human rights work, I do have connections with Women on the Border, and I've been down to the border, the Texas-Mexico border, and have done work with many different organizations to help immigrants recover their lost wages, to help immigrants find housing and better living conditions.
That's remarkable. Yeah. Great work. That's so cool. Yeah, I'd be like, hey, come talk to me if you want to ask me what my Power Rangers movie was about. And you're like, hey, I believe in human rights and dignity. And I'm like, I need to step up my game.
No, you're already stepping up.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Kara. It's been a delight, right? And I hope to talk to you more. And I hope, our listeners get an opportunity to talk to you as well.
Oh, thank you, Evelyn.
Yeah.
What an honor.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And thank you, folks, for being here, taking the time to stop by, enjoy a cup of tea with us, and just listen into the conversation. Until next time, be well, take good care, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Cheers.